Sorry, man, I wasn't checking the time.
That's cool.
Just waiting for Kelly and Amy. Cool. Go ahead, G.
G was always saying about the inventory.
Yeah. So I just want you guys to think about... Mute, please.
Yeah, done.
Okay. I just want you guys to think about inventory and distribution model. Something is going to be convenient for people. Just start thinking about that. Okay. A convenience concept. Okay, so guys, we're not going to be like, we're going to crawl through this, we're going to walk and we're going to run.
And afterwards, we're going to fly, G. Don't forget that.
Fighter jets, here we come.
Fighter jets, that's right.
There we go.
Okay, so that's my biggest takeaways, guys. I've been reading now on Good to Great. Okay, the great companies, and so happy I'm reading this because these companies all went to. Remember, they're like a world war, guys. Why is it like a world war? Because when you're having a war, they're basically just sheltering and feeding people. Some companies are running, yes. But majority is like closed. People are just looking for shelter and food. So many people would rather right now choose to die and to just sit and think and do. Most people are just going to die. That's coming out of this book. Oh, not just me saying that. So we're not going to be like the Chicken Littles. All we need to do now is be consistent with our narrative and our marketing, sharing, doing these meetings and sharing these meetings out there, creating new workouts, coming up with new types of thinking. All the time. Right, guys. That is my takeaways, Coach. Recording quickly.
Okay. And that's how we need to be thinking. See, the situation needs to be so tough, so tight that we have no other option than to be strong and come out of it. And that's my takeaway.
Nice.
It's called the lobster concept.
Yes.
How does a lobster grow? A lobster goes underneath a rock. It starts in its old shell. From the inside, it starts expanding from the inside, and it starts pushing pressure, bah, and it comes out. And that's when we grow. I know that shows that's basically what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mikhail.
I'm still on the 17 laws of teamwork. I'm going to read law number 10 quickly for you guys. The law of connection. Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. The heart comes first. Leaders know that you first have to touch people's hearts before you ask them for a hand. That is the law of connection. All great communicators recognize this truth and act on it almost instinctively. You can't move people to action unless you first move them with emotion. The heart comes first, then the head. Why I chose this one for today is because as a team, we need to know what motivates each other. We need to know how to communicate with each other, as well as people that are out there in everyday life. We work with all our members, for example. We want them to follow us. We want them to follow the plans that we're giving them. So how do we do this? We build that connection. We make sure we connect them we connect at different level, an emotional level. one where they can see that we're actually relatable, one that they can see we actually are just human beings just like them, but we're wanting to help. So we're touching their heart by acting on their emotions, speaking to them, getting more personal with them, and then telling them, follow us, give us the workouts, post about us, tell your friends, tell your family, come and join us. So my takeaway is just make sure when you're with any person, with your members, with your teammates, make sure you're touching their heart before and
Okay. So I'm still reading the same book. I'm now on motivating people. So this part talks about Paul Feynman. He's the chairman of Reebok, and what his vision was. So he promises people that Reebok in 2 years from this time would overtake Nike in market share. Before this story, there was another story of how a leader in this book got other people to follow him, and they used basically like incentives. So they said there's one guy that's talking about the story that he had like a rabbit who gave birth to like babies, and then he didn't know how to feed them, so he used the children in the row, and he said, if each one of you can bring enough food for the rabbits, I'll then name the rabbit after you. So that obviously drove drove the kids to go bring the rabbits, and now each rabbit is named after each child. So basically, the reason why I told you that is because they're saying here that Paul didn't use bribing, he didn't threaten anyone. He who worked for him, he showed them that he was willing to take risks. He was willing to encourage them, and also he kept that vision that he's going to, as Reebok, go past Nike in market share within that 2 years. So why I thought that this was actually quite cool is because it reminded me of Garth, because it also talks about how he talked, he lived, and he saw this vision of Reebok, and also he took time to enroll people who saw as well. So how this reminded me of EFF Bootcamp is because that's exactly what we are. Garth had this vision of EFF Bootcamp, he grew it from nothing, and then he took his time to get the team who can see that vision, who is pushing this with him as well. So it says in the book, you take your time to enroll people in your thinking, in your vision, in your dream, in your fantasy, and whatever it is that you want to do for this company, right? And why I also took that out, and maybe it sounds a bit selfish, but the thing is, we all came on board because we saw what God is seeing, right? So it also says here that once you get you can change someone out of that team. So let me just use, like, for instance, Nico. So now Garth got Nico saw the vision, and now Garth trusted Nico to open up Tiger Valley. Soon, Nico's going to have more people. So he's going to have 10 other people. That people's going to have 10 other people each. So then soon you're going to be having hundreds of people who saw the initial vision of EFF Bootcamp. So that was quite cool. So basically, firstly, as a leader, which I mentioned 2 days ago, you need to have that vision. And then on top of it, you don't have to bribe or threaten your people that they're not going to have a job, or bribe them or incentivize them to work. You need to let them know and let them see the vision that you have. And that is why you're taking your time to actually get the perfect team. And you will only know those people who is with you, is still on this journey. Because it says here in this book, it talks about you don't, as a leader, you don't motivate people by hitting them on the head. That's not leadership, that's assault. So those people who feel that way, who is the ones who actually end up leaving. They're only working for you right now because they're scared, because they want money you for as a job. And they said also in this book that real motivation isn't driven by a financial backing. It's driven, it says here, what is it that people actually want? Yes, people want health, people want to be able to live a good life. However, what is it that people actually want more? The desire to be great. So that means they want a sense of purpose. What is our purpose individually? What is our purpose as EFF Bootcamp? When we think of EFF Bootcamp, we're thinking of one purpose, exactly what we've been speaking about this past few days. So what is our purpose? Desire to be important, and just working for valuable, mutually important goal. So that is, it's not to be working for money. Yes, that's a bonus. You're thinking about these numbers, but it's more about what is our purpose. We want that desire to be the best. We are the best, and that is how we need to be thinking. And then this is directly from the book. This is just growing the seeds of motivation. So the first thing is to get the mindset. being part of a team. It's not the individual, it's a team. It's a team sport. We're a team, we're working together. And also what we're doing is valuable and we are the best. I know we also speak about this, like from the first time that I was in the team meeting, that was the words that came out of the mouth. Like these are actually powerful words that you actually don't even realize until when everyone else is like down in a dark space and we are flourishing, motivating each other and actually realizing that together we're actually strong. And then in the book it says, till you call everyone up and say you will join me at River Creek, you must make them want to come along. So I was thinking of besides the journey and the growth of EFF, I'm thinking about even just the mountain, running in the mountain. So yes, I'm going to put my hand up. I'm going to say, when sometimes before we want to run the mountain, I was like, ugh, I don't want to do it, right? But God still did it. Even with his broken arm, he still did it. And by doing that, by showing us that, we all went along with him because we could not let him go alone, So he's showing his leadership and actually says here, you go first and your team will follow. So don't force them to want to go with you. If they don't want to go, then they're obviously not for you. But you go first as a leader and you make them want to join you. So yeah, that's it for today. There is still more, but I'm going to just stop there.
Cool, nice.
Cool, thank you.
Right, I'm going to read a quote from a famous author named Hunter S. Thompson. Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, what a ride. So just to put this quote into perspective, when he wrote his book, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he went to Las Vegas and totally immersed himself in the culture it had to offer, and that left him a broken man. He was totally different from when he first entered. And it's through that he ended up writing his bestseller book. So he took every risk that town had to offer him, everything he could throw to him, everything the town could throw to him, he took it, and he ended up making a successful career out of that. So my takeaway from that is you have to live your life to the fullest and not regret the things you did do, but rather regret the things you didn't do. And when you arrive at your eventual grave, you mustn't wish that, oh, I wish I did that and I wish I did this. You must rather be saying, okay, cool, I've lived my life, I'm done. Everything I wanted to do, I've done it. All the risk in my life, I've done it. There's nothing more for life to offer. I can rest in peace, basically. End of takeaway.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nico, you're back. I see you.
Sorry. Yeah, I am.
I just can't see your face.
Cool.
You want to go then, Nico?
Okay, go Nico.
So I'm reading this book still. How good you are is how good you want to be, and what a nice quote here. Victoria Beckham. I want to be as famous as Personal Automatic, which is one of the leading cleaning detergents in the UK. So I just want to read a quote that she says here. As a teenager, Victoria Beckham's ambitions was not just to be better than her mates or even a famous singer, but to become the world's best brand. She's not only dreamt about it, but wanted it enough to go about getting it. That in itself makes her different from most of us. She was that mattered. It was how good she wanted to. This thing in a quote is that she's
Making up coach.
Okay, just to get this final quote. Laugh as you may, it is the highly original of my imagination that got to where she is today. So just to use that quote as to what she said, I want to be as famous as Personal Automatic is exactly what we're doing now currently. So our online platform that we created for members and for what we want to do worldwide is our focus. It's an imagination got thinking this out of the box, and we created it in less than 2 weeks, which is great. But what's going to keep us going there? You know what? Are we going to compare ourselves to anybody else? No, we're going to be better than them. We want to focus and take over the market by helping people. So yes, our original imagination of Goth creating this platform, thinking as a team, how are we going to create it better, make it better first, to make it perfect. So we got to think of ourselves outside the box. We got to put in the time and the effort. We're not going to think of our local fitness brands that is here in South Africa or worldwide. That is our goal. International, and to start helping people international also. So we can use saying of wanting to be famous as personal automatic and try to gain the advantage of being the best brand internationally known. That's what I'm looking at. Brand, not just fitness industry, brand, and how far we can take this as a brand going forward for ourselves. So that is my biggest takeaway. How far are we willing to push to become the best brand in the...
Cool. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, I go next.
How far are we willing to push? Love that. Okay. Really?
Cool. So my takeaway is it's fatigue. Fatigue is a mental creation. Okay, so fatigue is a mental creation because you have unlimited energy within you. You will only get tired when you do what you hate. People they love don't easily because their passion gives them energy. So if you think like a good example would be someone feeling tired at work, right? You're at work, you're feeling tired, you're yawning, you say you're tired. Next minute, you get a message from your friend, let's go out for drinks. Suddenly you have energy. That is just proof that you have the energy inside you. It's there. But mentally, you decide when you are fatigued and when you are tired. So in terms of what we do, like the hours we spend at work and what we do with those hours, next time you find yourself saying to someone, maybe you're not complaining, but you're saying it out loud, maybe for some sympathy, you're saying, oh, I worked 12 hours, or I had to work on a weekend today. Ask yourself, is that a punishment? Do you feel like it's a punishment that you had to work those long hours of work on a weekend? What we are doing is helping people. That's what we're spending our hours with. It's not a punishment. Just think of it, other people wasting their hours. What are they doing in those hours compared to what we are doing? We're helping people and we're serving people. So that's my takeaway. Just fatigue is a mental creation. So think about next time you say you're tired or
powerful one.
Complaining about what you are doing, because think about what we are actually doing.
Awesome. Okay, who's next?
Okay, so I'm still reading the book called The Power of Growth, and I'm just going to pick out a small piece from this chapter. So they're speaking about the meaning of life. So transformation happens, it's a process, and this process is when you figure out the meaning of life. You figure out what your true meaning of life is. And they mention here, it's all in process. So it's actually the ability, and this is when you know that transformation is taking place, because it's the ability to interact with anybody and everybody, and then the commitment to add value to their life, and then to add value or to add your kind of value to their life. And they say that this, if you get this in a line with, so what I mean with this, if you get this in a line, finding a way to help others, while at the same time you are still creating an engine for yourself. So for us, it would be creating an economic engine for ourselves. This is when you really find true purpose. And this is on a good path, because firstly, you know you are giving value to someone else, but then at the same time you are also creating an economic engine for yourself. So getting those two in a line, that is true growth, they say. And then just a small piece on a video that I watched last night was there's so many different categories out there that genuinely needs help and next level help. So we are ethically obligated to share our message and to push our message out there to the world. So keeping in mind with what's
I like
going
that
on.
one, ethically obligated to share the world. And that's what this campaign, this video should be.
Mhm. Yeah.
Our basis or our heading or our subject line. We are ethically what?
We are ethically obligated to share our message. We are ethically obligated to share our message and just put out there what we're standing for, like, you know, what we're truly standing for, and what we, because we want to genuinely help people. So we are obligated to do that. In mind with what's going on, and this is just a really cool quote that they mentioned. So in troubled times, our best innovation will occur and will happen. So they say because we feel that our back's against the wall, but we know that's not true. So that's my main takeaway. In troubled times, our best innovation occur. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Awesome. Here's my takeaway. 8 minutes left. Okay. 3rd of April, Friday today.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yep. It's April. It's Easter next week, Saturday.
Oh shit.
Sunday. It's Good Friday on next week, Good Friday. It's Easter Saturday, next week, Saturday. It's Ramadan starting on end of April, I think. Okay. So just letting you guys know, today's the 3rd of April. It is Friday. It's a beautiful day outside. Stunning. Beautiful day. It's another day of hard graft for us. It's another day of consistency for us. It's another day of giving passion. That's what it is. Today's Friday, it's the 3rd. It's a day of hard graft. It's a day of consistency. It's a day of passion. It's a beautiful day, guys. We have Coach Nico coming out soon with the new baby as well. It's a beautiful day. We're looking at beautiful days ahead. Okay. My takeaways from the book, and I just wrote it down. It was coming as I'm reading. I'm writing all these things down. So today we completely focused on my passion. We completely focused on our passion. We completely focused on what we know what we know we're the best at, and how do we create our economic engine around our passion and around what we are best at. I want us to continuously think about this all the time, guys, moving forward. What are we passionate about? What are we the best at? We don't want anyone to come and compete with us because we are the best at what we know we're the best at. So step aside, motherfucker. That's what we think in right now, okay? What is our passion? What are we the best at? No one can compete with us, and we know what that is, okay? We've already discussed some. We just keep growing it. We keep adding to this list. And I'm going to remind you guys quickly what we are the best in the world at harnessing our disciplined culture within our team, with our collective brain power, our collective energy, our collective thoughts as a team. Knowing about technology, knowing about the uses of technology, and producing low-cost online and offline training, high-end fitness, weight loss, health, and accountability systems. Who must No one must. We must know we're the best at it. What is our passion? Okay. We love eliminating distractions. We love eliminating class. We love eliminating team hierarchies. We love eliminating corporate thinking. Okay. We are creating egalitarian, as we said, and we know what that means. We're looking at everyone as equals. We're not leveling each other. We don't need to have a management saying, yeah, you got to do this. Hey, why didn't you do that? No. That's what we know. We are as a fitness brand, as a team right now, we know that we're so precise on how we want our workouts, how we want everyone else there to see our workouts, how we want everyone during our workouts, how we want everyone to get results from our specific workouts, what equipment we want people to only use for our workouts, how we want our squats to be done, how we want our lunges to be done, how we want our planks and our push-ups to be done. We don't care about the rest. No, this is how we want it done, because we know we can control the best factor in that, right? And that's what we're going to create moving forward. Right now, what I've learned is a just like we got all to-do lists and top priority to-do lists, what we haven't been thinking about is a not to-do list. Not to do. And I urge you to encourage yourselves to first write down your specific not to do list that you know that you must not do, to waste time, to become discouraged, to become inconsistent, to become unfit. What must you not do? Write that down. Share it with your people, with your customers as you're having these consults. This is what I've been doing. I've been eating biscuits at night, late at night, and sleeping, going to bed. I've been watching YouTube till 12 o'clock, falling asleep. I'm supposed to be at bed at 9 p.m., but I'm watching TV till 12 p.m. I haven't been writing down in my book my to-dos for the next day. I haven't prepared them for the next day. That's my not to-do list. How important is that to share that with people? Many people right now would rather die than to think, to stop and think. We're not going to die. We're going to stop and we're going to think. We're not going to act like Chicken Little, who's thinking the sky is falling and we're all going to die. No, we're not Chicken Littles here. Okay? We crawl, we walk, and we're going to run. We're going to crawl, we're going to walk, and we're going to run. That's what I'm taking away out of these books, guys. Okay, so guys, we're not going to be like, we're going to crawl through this, we're going to walk, and we're going to run.
And afterwards, we're going to fly, G. Don't forget that.
Fight the jets, here we go.
Fight the jets, that's right.
There we go.
Okay, so that's my biggest takeaways, guys. I've been reading now on Good to Great. Okay, the great companies, and I'm so happy I'm reading this because these companies all wait too. Remember, they're like a world war, guys. Why is it like a world war? Because when you're having a war, they're basically just sheltering and feeding people. Some companies are running, yes. But majority is like closed. People are just looking for shelter and food. So many people would rather right now choose to die than to just sit and think and do. Most people are just going to die. That's coming out of this book. Oh, it's not just me saying that. So we're not going to be like the Chicken Littles. All we need to do now is be consistent with our narrative and our marketing, sharing, doing these meetings and sharing these meetings out there, creating new workouts, coming up with new types of thinking.